Picture this. The room is quiet, almost too quiet. Your phone is close, but you're afraid to look at it. Your heart feels heavy, not because something happened, but because something might happen. You tell yourself you're calm, but your body knows the truth. This is what unstable love does. It doesn't need noise to hurt you. It lives in the silence. And the reason it feels so powerful, so unforgettable, is because it doesn't touch just your heart. It takes control of your mind. You didn't fall in love with peace. You fell in love with uncertainty, with waiting, with hoping, with the emotional rise and fall that made you feel alive. One moment she was close, warm, choosing you. In that moment you felt powerful. Then she pulled away and suddenly you felt small, anxious, replaceable. That emotional swing became your reality, and without realizing it, your brain started craving it. This is not weakness, it's biology. Your mind is hardwired to chase what it can't fully secure. Dopamine doesn't come from comfort, it comes from pursuit, from risk, from the fear of loss. That's why unstable love feels intense. It's not deeper, it's louder. My friend, think about how your thoughts changed. You started checking your phone more often. You replayed conversations in your head. You questioned your tone, your words, your timing. You stopped being present in your own life because your emotional center shifted outside of you. Her attention became the reward. Her silence became the punishment. And every time she came back, even briefly, the relief felt like love. But it wasn't love. It was your nervous system calming down after being pushed into chaos. This is how emotional instability traps good men. You don't stay because you're happy. You stay because you're hopeful. You believe that if you just say the right thing, act the right way, become a little better, the uncertainty will end. But it never does, because instability is the engine of the connection. The moment things become calm, the intensity fades. And that's the cruel illusion. You start believing that pain is proof of importance, that anxiety means you care deeply, that suffering is the price of connection. Every man who has been here understands this feeling. You miss someone who hurt you more than someone who treated you well. Not because they were better, but because they rewired you. They trained your brain to associate emotional tension with meaning, and society doesn't help you heal from this. Movies romance, music glorifies it. Culture tells you that calm love is boring and chaotic love is real. But no one tells you that peace feels unfamiliar when your nervous system has been living in survival mode. Here is the truth most people never tell you. Intensity is not depth. Anxiety is not passion. Emotional pain is not love. Unstable love feels stronger because it keeps you off balance. It keeps you seeking. It keeps you doubting yourself. And over time, it slowly erodes your confidence, your clarity, your sense of self. You don't lose yourself all at once. You lose yourself in small moments of overthinking, waiting, and emotional negotiation. Real love doesn't make you feel confused about your value. It doesn't make you question your worth in silence. It doesn't disappear to see how much you'll bleed. Real love feels quieter at first. It doesn't spike your adrenaline. It doesn't hijack your thoughts. And that's why it's often ignored, because chaos feels familiar to a wounded mind. Peace feels empty only when you've been conditioned to suffer. Brother, the awakening begins when you stop chasing intensity and start choosing stability. When you retrain your nervous system to see calm as strength, not boredom. When you realize that the love that doesn't destroy you is the love that can actually last. The moment you understand this, something changes. You stop begging for attention. You stop romanticizing pain. You stop confusing emotional chaos with connection. And in that moment, you don't just heal, you reclaim your power. You're sitting alone, the room quiet, your phone face down, and yet your chest feels restless. You tell yourself you're thinking about her because you care, but deep down, it's not care that's keeping you awake. It's tension. It's uncertainty. It's the feeling that love, when it's unstable, somehow burns hotter than anything calm or safe ever did. And this is where most people get it wrong. They believe intensity means depth. They believe pain means importance. They believe that if something hurts this much, it must be real. But what you're experiencing is not love in its pure form. It's your nervous system being overstimulated, rewired, and quietly addicted. Unstable love feels powerful because your brain is not designed to seek peace first. It is designed to seek stimulation. Every sudden text, every disappearance, every emotional withdrawal followed by affection triggers dopamine, the same chemical released during gambling, chasing, and risk-taking. This is not romance. This is a biological loop. When affection is inconsistent, your mind becomes hyper-focused. You start scanning for signals, overanalyzing words, rereading messages, imagining outcomes. You call this connection, but in reality, your brain is fighting uncertainty, not building intimacy. Calm love doesn't hijack your thoughts like this, so it feels weaker by comparison. But weaker doesn't mean false. It means stable. Think about how it happens. One day she is warm, open, fully present. You feel chosen. Then suddenly, without explanation, she pulls away. Silence replaces closeness. Your body reacts before your mind does. Tight chest, restless sleep, lowered appetite. And when she finally returns, even with the smallest sign of affection, the relief feels euphoric. That relief becomes the reward. Your brain links pain to pleasure, absence to desire. Over time, you stop craving her. You crave the emotional swing. This is how instability turns into attachment, and attachment turns into dependency. My friend, this is why some relationships feel impossible to leave even when they are clearly damaging. The chaos keeps you invested. The unpredictability keeps you hopeful. You're not chasing love anymore. You're chasing emotional relief. And the most dangerous part is that society reinforces this illusion. Movies call it passion. Songs call it obsession. Culture tells you that calm love is boring and turbulent love is real. No one tells you that peace feels unfamiliar when your nervous system has learned chaos. There are men who once had stable women, consistent, present, emotionally available, and they walked away because it felt flat. There was no rush, no fear of loss, no spike of excitement. Later, they find themselves destroyed by someone emotionally unavailable, and only then do they realize what they lost. Stability didn't excite them because their emotional baseline was already distorted. They mistook calm for emptiness and anxiety for love. And by the time clarity arrived, it was too late. Here is the uncomfortable truth you need to hear. Intensity is not depth. Anxiety is not desire. Emotional pain is not proof of connection. Unstable love feels stronger because it keeps you weak, reactive, and focused outside yourself. It takes your attention, your time, your emotional energy, and slowly erodes your self-respect. The longer you stay in it, the more your identity bends around another person's unpredictability. Real love does not feel like a bat. Real love does not feel like a battlefield. It does not keep you guessing where you stand. It does not require you to suffer to feel close. Real love feels quieter at first, almost unfamiliar. It feels like steadiness, not adrenaline. And that's why it's often overlooked, because it doesn't hijack you, it grounds you. When a man learns to value emotional stability over stimulation, something shifts. He stops chasing chaos. He stops confusing longing with meaning. He becomes calm, centered, and self-directed. Brother, the goal is not to feel less, it's to feel clearly. When you retrain your nervous system to recognize peace as safety, not boredom, you reclaim your power. You no longer need instability to feel alive. You no longer confuse emotional destruction with depth. And in that clarity, you don't just choose better relationships, you become a stronger man, one who is no longer controlled by the chemistry of chaos. Before this video ends, I want you to sit with one feeling, not pain, not anger, but honesty. If this story touched something inside you, it's because you've lived it. You've loved in a way that cost you your sleep, your peace, your sense of self. And I want you to know something important. There is nothing weak about you. You didn't fail because you cared too much. You were simply never taught the difference between intensity and truth. If you're still holding on to someone who gives you confusion instead of clarity, understand this. Love should not feel like emotional survival. You should not have to lose yourself to keep someone close. The right connection does not keep you anxious, guessing, or shrinking. It meets you where you stand. And if walking away feels painful, remember this. Pain is temporary, but staying where you are, slowly disappearing, is permanent. My friend, choose yourself, not out of bitterness, but out of respect. Let go of what keeps you unstable, even if it feels powerful. Because peace may feel unfamiliar at first, but it is where real strength lives. And when you finally step into that calm, you won't just find better love, you'll find yourself again.